So if we now enter into love
Okay.
languages, I think a lot of terms, for example, like compatibility, narcissism, love
Mhm.
languages, these terms are defined differently between people in everyday
Right.
society and in psychology.
Right.
So as a psychologist, what is a love language?
Okay. So, and I don't remember who wrote it, but it is a book. And there is a test online that you can take.
It's
And
a verified test?
it's the test that's based on the book.
Okay.
And I don't remember who wrote it. I'm very
Mhm.
sorry.
Okay.
But anyway, the test, I love it because it does help create awareness around yourself. And
Yeah.
so the basis of the five love languages, as you know, it says five love languages.
Yeah.
So the five love languages are physical touch, quality time, um, ugh, acts of service, um,
Words of
gifts,
affirmation.
and words of affirmation. Exactly.
Mhm.
And so I'll just break them down a little bit, right? So physical touch can be something like holding hands, hugging, of course, all the way to intimacy, right?
Right.
Quality time, it can mean different things to different people. To me, it just means having the person that I care about in my space. And that could
Mhm.
be me in the kitchen cooking and them working on the computer. We don't even have to be talking,
Sitting on
deep
the couch.
conversation,
Yeah.
just sitting on the couch, being in each other's space. That's
Mhm.
quality time for me,
Yeah.
right? Then words of affirmation are anything from like people who love the text messages, people who love
The
the
comforting.
compliments, the
Mhm.
conversations, right? Then gifts. Uh,
Everybody loves
yeah,
us.
well, but it's funny, right? Because
Yeah.
like for me, when somebody gives me gifts, I appreciate it, but it doesn't make me feel
Mm.
loved, right? So I'll love it. I'll think that's really kind, but it doesn't touch me the same way that someone when they touch me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is in my space, right?
Yeah.
So the gifts, I mean, that's kind of an obvious one, but it doesn't even have to be, we're in Dubai, an expensive gift.
Yeah.
It can just be, hey, I was driving by a field of sunflowers and I know sunflowers are your favorite flowers. So I stopped and I cut one and now I'm giving you the sunflower, right? Or I was on the beach and I saw this shell and I thought you might
Sweet.
like this shell for your collection, right? So
Yeah.
like those kind of gifts as well. And then acts of service. Acts of service is, for example, cooking for someone. Acts of service is, I used to do this for my ex-husband. I used to, when he was traveling and then he would come back, before he came back, I would take his car to get his car cleaned and put gas and everything
Yeah.
so that it was ready for him when he got back, right? So that's the acts of service, right?
Yeah.
And now we all have varying degrees depending on, again, how we grew up and what was valued in our family, of this hierarchy, right? So mine, like I said, is physical touch and quality time. They're kind of up there together. Then words of affirmation, then gifts at like 7, and then acts of service at 0. So if you want me to feel loved by you, don't get gas for my car. Don't change my light bulb. Like, you
Really?
don't have to do those things. I can do those things just
Yeah.
fine. But if you want me to feel loved, come over and give me a hug every now and then,
Yeah.
or just be in my space.
But what if you feel, because when I think about, I mean, probably I should take the test, but when I think about what is my love languages, I feel like they're all of them.
Yeah.
I can't go in a relationship without having one of them. It won't,
Okay.
I feel like there will be something missing.
But they're always there to varying degrees. I don't think that anyone navigates a relationship without giving or getting gifts,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Valentine's Day. What is that for? And so I think that there's always going to be varying degrees.
But for example, someone can be very good at giving words of affirmation,
Right.
right? Like I hear a lot from you,
Yeah.
but then I don't maybe see any service kind of,
Yes.
and then that feels like a disbalance.
I mean, I think it would be a question of taking the test because the test is very complicated because it
Okay.
does sometimes ask questions
Yeah.
that aren't really directly opposed, right? It's not, do you like, I don't know, the color red or the color green? It's
Yeah.
kind of like, do you like this shade of red or maybe this shade of red? And you're like,
Mm.
oh. So it's a little bit of a tricky test, but it does really force your hand to become clear on what does make you feel loved. And
Right.
so for you, maybe because you smiled the way that you did with gifts, maybe gifts is really high up on your list
Yeah.
and acts of service, but maybe, physical touch is further down. But I don't think that there's anyone who really only has or gives one language. I think
Right.
that it's always just varying degrees. And the reason I think the love language is so important in relationships, as one of my patients once said it, he's like, oh, it's a fast track, right? So it's kind of like if you know your partner's love language. Okay, let me do a different example. Let's say you speak Japanese and I speak Swedish, right? And
Mhm.
so now I'm always trying to say, I love you. I don't know how to say it in Swedish, but I'm always trying to say, I love you to you in Swedish. And you're sitting there the only language you know is Japanese, and you're going, why can't she tell me that she loves me already, right? So if we don't talk about the fact that these are the languages that we speak, then we can't learn each other's language, right? So for
Right.
example, if we were in a relationship and you're Japanese and I'm Swedish, then that would be me learning Japanese and you learning Swedish, so that when I say I love you to you in Swedish, you understand it
And it's meaningful.
and it's meaningful. And when you say it to me, it's meaningful. But also when I try to say it to you in your language, it might not sound perfect, because obviously I wouldn't be fluent in Japanese very quickly, but at least the sentiment is there, right? And so a lot of people will say, when we do love languages in like a couple situation, will say, but that doesn't feel natural to me. I don't like giving gifts. I don't want to give gifts, right? Or the other person says, I don't want them to do it just because I want them to do it. I want them to do it because they want to do it. And I say, that's not important. The outcome is important. The fact that when I feel love to you and I say it to you in Japanese, even though it sounds not perfect, you feel the love and I'm expressing it in a way where I know that you will understand it.
Right.
And so it's about learning each other's love languages. And so if you're really high up on gifts and gifts is really low for me, like in terms of giving love, then I can go, oh, okay, it's not my natural go-to, because I'd much rather just sit on the couch with her. But I will actually go out and say, make like a conscious effort. I love her. I want her to feel loved. So I'm going to go and buy her favorite chocolate today on my way home from work.
Right. So then love in this scenario it's a choice.
Yes.
Right? Because the feeling, it's easy. You feel it, but you don't have to actually do anything.
Right.
But then here you have to actually make that decision.
You have to, and I think the decision is a lot easier, because I don't think that your love language is necessarily that strongly wired to your personality, right? I think it's something that for the greater good and with the empathy, right? So if I care for you and I want you to be happy and your happiness is my happiness, and I give you chocolate and I see your face light up because it's your favorite chocolate and I thought to bring you your chocolate, that's going to make me feel happy, because now I've given you that happy feeling and I feel your happy feeling, so I'm happy too.
So that's linking to the definition of love in the sense that I love you because you make me feel good, or I love you because I want to make you feel good, or I care about you. So then the love languages would be, if I love you, I want to speak your language because it's going to make you feel good, even though it doesn't necessarily make me feel the best because it's not my language.
Right. And I think this is the question of, again, loving, right? So my sister, hi sister, she and I, we have this deal, right? So like when, let's say I've had a lot of patients and I really don't feel like talking on the phone, but she's going through something and she really feels like talking on the phone. So now one of us has to sacrifice somehow, right? So what we'll do is we'll ask each other, how high on not wanting to speak to anyone are you? What's your like pain threshold? And I'll be like, it's an 8. And she'll be like, but I really need to talk to you and I'm at a 10. Then I'll say, okay, fine, I'll put aside my 8 of not wanting to talk and I will talk to you because your well-being is more important than my well-being right now. Now, if she's at a 6, she'll do the same for me. She'll be like, okay, no, don't worry about it. Then call me when you feel better and then we can talk then, right? So it's kind of like communicating with each other how hard it is to do something for each other because you love them or they love you.
You can say love language can be compatible, right? And if they're completely incompatible,
then it's more work.
It's more work. And then it's up to the two people that, am I willing to?
Yes.
But then how hard is it for someone to say, I don't know, it's so easy to just say, why can't you just accept me the way I am?
And I do think that people say that, but it has to go both ways. And then you can decide to change the nature of your relationship, right? Or you can decide to just not be as close as you maybe want to be, or you can decide not to be it. And I mean, ideally this would happen before you have a family, because I think that that's something that always tends to make people need to stay together. But again, it's one of those things where, you can even go on a date and kind of go, this is lovely because my love language is this, and that can open a conversation about love languages. And then you can kind of assess how easy or difficult that relationship is going to be. But I do find that when people love people, they want to make the other person happy, right? Because again, if your face lights up, then I feel happy too. And even if it might have been awkward for me to do whatever it is that makes your face light up,
it paid off.
It still gives me that feeling of happiness as well.
So you've got the main 5 love language.
Right.
Would you say that there are other ones that are not mainly talked
Yeah.
about?
I think the
Yeah.
5 love languages is a guideline, right?
Right.
I don't think that's only those 5 and it's like the Bible, right? I think that you know, you can define your own love languages, right? I often have people say food is a love language. I'm like, okay, you can squeeze it into acts of service or into
Okay.
gifts, right? But yeah, you can make it your own love language. I find that, you know, in certain cultures specifically, love was given by moms. And so children feel loved when somebody cooks for them,